Hello, everyone. Can you all hear me well? Please make
Yes,
sure
sir.
that your cameras are on. Okay, thank you. So we are not going to study anything, so please make sure your cameras are on. It's a networking of nights. But first and foremost, I'm absolutely delighted to welcome the newest members to this very kind, very beautiful community of misfits. As I said, today we will not study. Today I'm not going to cold call anyone. So you can have your lassis, green tea, masala chai. You can even eat your food with your cameras on. No one will bother you. Okay, so you be as informal as you may like. It's not a class. But today is a special day indeed. Today is a special day because it's networking of nights and games. Our monthly networking event that I always look forward to you know, attending and organizing. But before I begin, and I know this question that I've asked in the past also in one of the classes, what does being a misfit mean to you? What does it mean to you? It's a very important question. You're all part of misfits. I think I've discussed this. If you go to the basics in very simple terms, a misfit is a person who always feels out of the place. And why is that? No one understands a misfit, and they're agitated because of that. A misfit may look different, they may think differently. They do not subscribe to the regular notion, regular views of the world. Misfit may take actions that may go against the expectations of the society, against the norms of the society. One person I always admire for being a true misfit is Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. He was a misfit, someone who secured a position in the ICS, Indian Civil Services. That was the pinnacle of success in those day and age. Today things may be different, but back in the days, it's the pinnacle of success. Each one of us could write 2,000 books on why in those days ICS was one of the most coveted careers. Even today, when an IAS resigns from the job, it is an act of defiance. But hundreds of years ago, Netaji resigning from the ICS, hallmark of a misfit. He went against the expectations, against the norms of the society in which he lived. But some also say that he was arrogant. Is that true? Usually misfits are arrogant. Gandhiji was termed as arrogant. Steve Jobs, arrogant. Netaji is arrogant. But no, he was someone who thought and who had the ability to think beyond I, me, and myself. So being a misfit is all about having values, a value system that you can never compromise on, no matter what, no matter how many bank accounts get frozen. So when Netaji resigned from the ICS, he was not being arrogant. Netaji had a value system. And the system was that I will reject British authority in India. He publicly rejected the legitimacy of British rule in India. That's what he did. No? Actions of Netaji, actions of misfits like him, inspire others to think beyond the established norms. And he was thinking beyond the established norms. A misfit is always driven by a higher purpose. The higher purpose is not to get into the IAS or IFS. The higher purpose is a desire to change the existing order for the better. If TN Session was alive today, perhaps he would have been a misfit in the civil services. He would not think like the current Chief Election Commissioner. For each one of us, the higher purpose is to change the existing order of loot, of deceit, of treachery. Our higher purpose is to serve the Republic of India with utmost honesty and sincerity. If you're living with that idea that IAS cannot do anything, IPS cannot do anything, I'm sorry. That's not the truth. No matter how harsh the political realities are, if a collector wants to visit all the 100 villages, 200 villages in his district, no one is stopping him. I want each one of you to lead by examples. I want each one of you to be a misfit in your villages, in your societies, in your families. There's nothing wrong with that. And in our desire to achieve our goals, the higher purpose, we will falter. We will fail. We will make mistakes. All of that is bound to happen and should happen. But two things that you should know and we must know. Number one, we are not alone in this journey. We're all here in this together. Okay, we're never alone in this journey. Number two, I will talk about in some time. So this beautiful community of misfits will always be there for you. You should know that. Whether you like it or not, you are stuck with me forever. Now, before we proceed with the networking of nights today, I would love to connect with those who have joined Misfits for the very first time, or this networking of nights for the very first time. Can you raise your virtual hands? I want to just see how many of you are there. Don't worry, as I promised, no cold calling. Okay, some of you. I have this urge to cold call. So you can unraise your hands if you don't want to be cold called. Okay, since not all of you are unraising the hands, I will go with the assumption that you're fine being cold called. Okay, I love the confidence. Um, but let me cold call someone who has been part of Misfits for a long time. Anyone who would want to welcome the new members? Anyone? All the others have been part of it. Ankit, off to you.
Yes, sir. Hello, everyone. So a warm welcome to everyone who is joining for the first time and who has joined the Misfits community recently. As sir mentioned, a few of the qualities of being a misfit, what it means like and what it should be like in your brain. So one of the earliest episodes, if you watch on the portal from ancient history, they have this background of Richard Feynman. So I've always been a huge fan of his. Like recently, I watched the Oppenheimer movie, and I was just waiting waiting for the scene where he arrives in the picture. So he truly represents someone who didn't go by conventional knowledge. He has, although he has not written himself, but his peer has written about his life, like what all sort of uh, different kind of adventures he used to take part in while working on the atomic bomb itself. So that's how I relate to being a misfit. Like I've been I am a person from a science background, and I admire Richard Feynman very much. And his characteristics, like he stood up to power, he didn't fear anyone. He said the truth right in front of the highest of the authority. So that's how I think we all should proceed. And again, a very warm welcome to all of you.
Okay, great. Thanks, Ankit. Anyone else? Okay, I'm getting confused. There are like 6, 7 hands raised. Are these the newbies or the ones who want to introduce or welcome the new people? Okay. Devyaman, where are you from?
Hello, sir. Good afternoon. Myself, Devyaman. Actually, I am from Rajasthan, but I'm right now connecting from Ahmedabad, Gujarat.
Okay, good.
So,
Glad to have you. And how is it going for you so far?
sir, I recently joined MisFits. It's been 5, 6 days right now. I didn't even know the subjects, genuinely, for being honest. And but I knew that I'm going to start preparing for UPSC. But whenever I decided that I'm going to prepare for UPSC, I joined MisFits. Then and there, I saw your YouTube videos, and I was very inspired by you. That's it, sir.
Okay. Glad to have you and
Thank you.
look forward to seeing you thrive and succeed. All the others will interact in time to come. Now, so today's networking of nights is very special because there's going to be no networking. We will come back to our regular networking in the next month. I think that would be also how we will kick in the new year. But today it is all about reminding you the power of consistency, power of trust, reminding you the power of cutting the nonsense from your life. And to remind you all of that, we have a guest speaker today, someone who recently cracked UPSC mains and will also appear for his interviews. And I will work with him meticulously so that he is able to score a really good score in the interviews also. That will happen. But before I invite him, he's also a misfit, of course. I want to ask all of you an important question. What decides your rank in the UPSC Civil Services exam? That's the reason why we are here. And we have received innumerable queries around the topic that we may discuss today, especially for those who may write the examination in 26 and 27. What decides our rank? Is it paper 1 GS, paper 2 GS, paper 3? Yes, Yash. And I think you're also joining in for the first time. Can you quickly tell us about
Yes.
yourself? Where are you from?
Hello, sir. I'm from Telangana basically, and this is the first time I'm interacting with you. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm excited to be a part of Misfits community also. And regarding the question, what decides the rank? In my understanding, it's the optional essay, ethics, and interview. These are the major pillars which finally decide a rank, cadre, and other specifications.
Okay. But I say we have a standard model, and that I will talk about it before your mains examination on how you do it. Not that difficult. Interviews again comes at a later stage. But I do agree. Optional. In fact, I've said this time and again, it's a very controversial statement to make. Prelims is irrelevant in many ways. Prelims, by its very logic, it does not gauge your intelligence at all. It does not gauge your capabilities. It is a ludicrous filtration mechanism that UPSC stuck with for ages. I've spoken to people within the UPSC in DARPG about the irrelevance of this examination. Prelim stage. Just think about it. What is the purpose of UPSC examination? Select the best civil servants. Civil servants. Servants to the people of India. Majority are a bunch of lemmings, driven by hunger for power, privilege. Of course, there will be hundreds of misfitters in time to come. They will work with all due honesty. But what is the situation right now? Every year, over a million people, they apply for the examination. Out of these, around 10,000 approximately, they make through prelims. This is a mass scale elimination of over a million candidates. Logically speaking, how is it taking place? Basis 100 MCQs, that's it, just 100 questions. It's an obnoxious mass scale elimination. India is losing out on some remarkable people because of this ridiculous, obnoxious mass scale elimination. 100 questions data set. Any sane person would try to increase number of questions to minimize the element of luck. Of course, at MisFits, we know this problem and we'll get past this hurdle also. We'll spend around 2 months with you before your prelims examination to make you crack prelims. But we must understand it's not a measure of intelligence. It is a measure of your ability to play a high-stake game of statistical poker. And that is what we will do 2 months before your prelims. We will master the art of conjectures. Almost all of you will clear prelims as long as you can stay diligent with the ways we will prepare and what I may ask you to do. But I do not want to make, cracking prelims as a hobby. There are many candidates whose hobby is to crack prelims, write mains, and then reappear next. But they never see their names on the list. Your rank, your services, your cadre, and to some extent even your promotions, the way things are in the ARPG. It is decided, dictated by how you perform in your mains and interviews. And one way through which you can ensure your selection or rejection is how you perform in your optional subject. Anyone from PSIR classes? So I'll talk from PSIR perspective today, but it applies to everything. Clara, how's your preparation coming along for PSIR?
It's going well, sir. I've completed 4 seasons currently. I'll be starting with season 4 this day.
Okay, and what's your background? Is it in political science?
No, sir. I've completed my master's in food science and technology. This is my first time studying PSIR.
Okay, all right, great. See, it's a beautiful subject. It's a subject that I mastered not just during my time at the Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy, but a subject I practiced during my time in the UN, during my time in the minister's office. And I say this, I studied private equity, venture capital, corporate finance, marketing in my business school. Somehow all those subjects confine at what we study here in PSIR, from history to geography to philosophy, to how to invest our money, to how to rule, to how to not rule. This subject is a marvel. So whosoever has chosen this optional, you have to go in with the mindset, no matter what's the background, whatever we have is more than enough to sail through the examination. 120 episodes, 7 seasons, that's it. Watch them, rewatch them, make notes from them. Why? Because we have reverse engineered on how to get marks in UPSC. Many a times, business graduates, economic students, engineers, they are the ones scoring highest in PSIR. Not those who have done PhD in PSIR. Why? Because they are not studying with the idea that they have to top university examination. They are studying with a simple goal to score 310 plus in the optional in the UPSC exam. That's the idea. So please make sure that you select your optional subject well. After you clear your prelims examination, you have to spend 80% of your time mastering your optional subject. What is the total weightage of optional in your UPSC mains examination? Who will tell me? You've all gone through have you gone through your syllabus? Or at least a pattern of UPSC? What's the weightage of optional? Who will tell me? Govardhan?
400. So am I audible?
Yeah, 500. Good. Paper GS 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 1000 marks. But the rank jump will happen because of two things: interviews and your optional. That's it. But the real jump you will see in the case of optional. Optional score will vary around 200 to 330, around 130 marks. In general studies, you will not see this level of variation. Almost all the candidates will cluster around similar scores in GS. Your highest returns will come with your optional subject. And Govardhan is lying, it's not just 500. If you're choosing PSIR, you will see the overlap. In the essay, you will see. Think of recent essays. You will see direct correlation with what is the syllabus content of PSIR. All the essays directly taken from political theory, philosophy, global politics. Talk about Plato, Aristotle, Ambedkar, Rawls, Hannah Arendt, Machiavelli, Gandhi. All of those things will make your essay richer and differentiated. And that is why you have to spend almost 80% of your time on your optional after your prelims. Why? Because GS1 also overlaps. Look at the syllabus, post-independence consolidation. It is directly covered in your Indian political thoughts, political developments, social movements. Again, here you study this in PSIR, Dalit movement, feminist movement, tribal movements. Role of women, globalization, society, all of that is part of your paper one. You will study all this in ideologies and state theory. Pick any paper, pick paper two. Polity, governance, IR. It overlaps heavily, entirely in fact, with PSIR. Indian Constitution, Parliament, Federalism, pressure groups. Look at paper three, security, international relations. Paper four, ethics. Thinkers like Gandhi, Marx, Hannah Arendt, Ambedkar provide moral frameworks on how to write answers around ethics. Kautilya. Very relevant for your case studies. Themes around justice, equality, liberty, duty. They all are core themes, both in PSI and also in ethics. So when you're picking up this as an optional, you're not just preparing for 500 marks, laying a foundation for 800 plus marks across your UPSC means. Think of an optional accordingly. Okay? But one thing about your optional is you have got to minimize your resources. I do not care whether you have PhD in your optional, whether you're an engineer or whether you're a doctor. You have to minimize your resources. Refer to some core material, revise them, re-revise them. That's all you need. For PSIR, we have those 120 episodes. And if you don't believe me, we have someone who recently gave the examination, cracked it. And he's someone who did not study PSIR in his undergrad. He's someone who had mathematics, I think. Aman, what was the optional subject before PSIR? Yeah, had to change it to PSIR. So we have Aman with us. Aman, introduce yourself and then we can proceed with the journey. Who are you?
Hello everyone. I am Aman Kumar.
First and foremost, everyone congratulate Aman for achieving a marvelous feat this year. He just cleared the examination and will be appearing for interviews. We don't have dates out yet. Yeah, go on, Aman.
Hello everyone. My name is Aman Kumar and I belong to the village called Chansen in Tong district from Rajasthan. And I had mathematics honors in my undergrad from Delhi University, from Zakir Hussain Delhi College. And I passed in 2022. Since then, I am preparing for the civil services. And this was my third attempt. And first interview going to.
And hopefully the last one. So
Yeah.
before this, you had taken mathematics. What was the rationale for it, and why did you make a switch to PSIR?
The rationale behind the taking mathematics as an optional was my schooling in the mathematics stream, in which I performed really well in the board's examination. And after that, before choosing the optional in the UPSC, I took the mathematics as an main subject in my graduation to complete the syllabus for optional. But the COVID years, 2 years, fell in the lockdown. So the most of the syllabus are covered in open book examinations, online examinations. So it almost ruined my syllabus and preparation. But still, I worked upon my decision that I've taken earlier to take up mathematics as an optional route. And almost 2 years I invested in mathematics. Last year I gave my mains with mathematics optional, but I couldn't clear it, and I scored 150 marks in both out of 500. So that was the uh, leg part. But then I earlier last year 2024 I found you on YouTube. Since then I was following you, and after my examination was over and the result declared in the December, so I saw your PSIR batch was uh, 1 2 classes were uploaded on the YouTube, orientation and other one. So I saw the syllabus, and I joined it in the March, because the earlier the seats were not vacant. I messaged multiple times. Then thank you and for Misfits team to give me a seat. They provided me in the March last March, I think 25 March around. So
Now, tell me, how did you manage this? So, March, you are picking up a new optional that you've never studied in life. And now you are in and I think examination was in a couple of months, prelims, and how did you
just
prepare for it?
just 2 months after the
And everyone
on
listen to this
20,
carefully because this is a situation for all of you now.
I think
So
no
you've
one would believe me
so
that I
they will
covered
bother you with many
everything.
questions. And if you have questions, please raise your hands also. All the others. Konaman.
So exactly on the 24th March, I purchased the module on the website, and next day I got the portal active. Uh, I just covered all the classes in 1 month. By 23rd April, I finished watching one time, but it was on 1.5x. But uh, I I made some notes in political theory. All notes were made on online mode. Uh, one note in the laptop. Uh, then 1 month I prepared only for the prelims. Then after I gave my attempt, I was sure that I will clear the prelims, and I started as soon as after 5 6 days of relax. I started again watching the episode from very first lecture, and covering the whole remaining notes. So by the end of the June, I had my notes in my hard copy format. So after that, those were the only my core material I referred for multiple revisions and answer writing.
Wow. And anyone has any questions of any kind up until now? Because this is very weird strategy. Someone picking up PSIR as a subject, never studied it, changing it from mathematics to PSIR, and
And
that too just a couple of months before the prelims. Yeah.
one rationale was of switching to PSIR was also the disconnect I felt from the mathematics in the last 2 years, because it has no to zero relevance in the public administration in reality.
No, no, I may disagree with that. Mathematics is also.
But it comparatively from PSIR, it has less the relevance.
Okay.
So that's why.
And how did this help you in your GS preparations? Means. And how much time did you dedicate for PSIR during your mains preparation?
If I compare the last two mains I gave, the last one with mathematics optional and this one was with PSIR optional. So last year I did only one time the PYQs of the mathematics, only that were only of the 10 years only, from 2013 to 2023. And I did not get the much time to prepare for the GS. But comparatively this year, despite being the PSIR was my new optional, I I got the enough time for preparing for GS and essays.
Okay.
And I had multiple revisions of PSIR also on only those core material.
Okay, so you did not refer to anything else, just the 120 episodes.
120 episodes and my notes. And as you said that pick the any coaching material and question papers
Yeah.
mostly. So I picked the Shubhra Ranjan's two full length, no, not for the full length, but the sectional, four sectional papers. And next IS was also conducting the open exam, full set of two papers. So I purchased that and 200 rupees. My friend arranged the Shubhra Ranjan four papers, but I did not write those questions as it is and in the question answer format, but I brainstormed those papers in the last 5 days. Sorry, 11 to 15th August, I guess. In that, I also the first saw the paper completely and marked the questions which were relevant. I thought so. I wrote only those, but I write the mostly the questions which we've done in the classes.
Yeah. Great. I may have more questions about your favorite season and stuff, but Madhurip has a question. Go on, Madhurip.
Hi, Aman. Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
I have a doubt that how did you manage in 1 month? Wasn't it really overwhelming? How did you manage your stress?
Which one
I mean,
month?
in 1 month, 120
Before prelims
episodes.
or after prelims?
Before prelims, just before
So
prelims.
yeah, in that 1 month I did not write the notes. I covered only the political theory questions. That were only 100 questions. I completed the notes, but the if you see the complete syllabus we covered in the PSIR module, that were around 375 question in total. So before prelims, I completed only the 100 question notes from political theory module season 1 and season 2, I guess. But later on, the 1 month I was discussing of the June after clearing the prelims, it was a bit of technological use. If that can be demonstrated here only, what I how I can show you the online mode. Sir, you are not audible.
Yeah, you can share your screen, Aman, if you want to.
So, okay.
But honestly speaking, I have not met anyone who has taken up a new subject and within a month wrapping it up.
Is it visible?
Yeah.
So, in the political theory, I started from the WPT part first. And earlier, I used to write the general dictation apart from the questions which sir discusses in the class. But later on, I shifted to the question and answer only. So, these were the questions Plato, Aristotle, Machiavelli, Mill, Hobbes, and there's IPT part that were almost multiple questions. And I made the tables using the chat GPT also. After writing the questions like these written in the like political theory, I wrote those 8 questions. I copied them in the chat GPT directly and told the chat GPT to frame the table in a way that it is easily revisable in very short time. So just in few seconds, ChatGPT gave me this table. I copied it, but somewhere in the third watching, I edited it multiple times according to the sir's lectures. So I made the 4 sections. It is the paper 1 section A, IGP is the section B, uh, India and the world section B of the paper 2, and it is the paper 2 section A. Yeah, India and the world. Then approaches part. So it was.
And by the way, many may ask for these notes. You need to understand these are your own notes. So Aman can find relevance in those
I'm-
notes. You've got to have your own notes as in when you prepare for your optional or any subject. Okay, so many toppers will share their notes. You can take inspiration from those notes, but eventually you've got to design and write your own notes. Okay, great. Anyone has any question for Aman around optional? Because it is a remarkable opportunity for each one of you to understand how could anyone wrap up a subject that he has never studied to an extent that he ends up clearing the examination. And he chose optional in the month of March.
So sorry, sir. I made the decision after the results were declared, but I joined you in the March.
Okay.
I was sure to join you anyhow, but I couldn't join in the January, February.
Yeah, we were facing some
Yeah,
issues with the
that.
bandwidth and data
Yes,
storage.
sir.
So therefore we have to limit the seats. But I'm glad
Okay.
you joined it and now you have, and you revised this 3 times, right? All
Yeah,
those 120 episodes. All the 120 episodes, 7 seasons, you revised for 3 times?
yeah. Third time it was in 2x and multiple
Okay.
skips.
You've got to do that once more before your interview so that it
Yes, sir.
stays fresh. And we have to connect those logics with the IR, the current affairs. Kritika, you had a question?
Yes, sir. Thank you. First of all, congratulations and all the best for your interview.
Thank you.
I want to ask about 3 things. First is the note making. I have selected my option as sociology. How did you go about note making? So first you used to watch the lectures, read, understand, and then finally make the notes and handwritten or online or as in the note, one note. And how did you revise in such a short period of time? Thank you.
So first of your question is the note making. I showed you I made all the notes online. It if you saw it makes about the speaking text to speech type thing. So I wrote first in my bed handwriting in fast speed. So I then it typed all the answer. Then some edits, some bold and underlines I did myself. So if you do all these things and question answers format, so each word is selected by me. Some words are done bold, some are underlined. So when I revised them in the hard copy format, so it was easy for me because all the words are selected by me. It was not borrowed from anyone. So that helped me. And I think I revised 5 to 6 times the hard copy after the in the gap prelims to mains.
Okay. So did you first like watch the entire series of the lectures, like I think about 42 as you mentioned, and then you started taking notes, or did you make them simultaneously?
Earlier, I simultaneously made the notes. I said that I completed around 70 to 100 questions from political theory. Then around 250 questions were left. So I I made earlier the sir discussed the question after the lecture in the particular 10 minutes, and later the students were discussing also those question answers. So I skipped that part, and later I focused only on what sir directed to answer right in the particular questions. So
This is the
on
mains answer, I think, right?
yeah,
750 questions of mains, right?
750 not 250 questions remaining.
Of mains. Okay. And the 750 were of?
What 750? I don't understand.
Okay, so mains question answers, you practice 250 questions.
No. Total were the 370 questions, but I covered the
Okay,
100 questions in the online format before
okay.
prelims, but remaining 250 I covered after the prelims
Got it. Sorry, my
in
bad.
soft
Yes.
copy. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. And this is not just for mains. I think he was covering aspects of PSIR. For mains, we'll have a different session for GS mains. Akshay, after you.
Hello, sir. Uh, um, First of all, congratulations to Aman. My question is regarding you switched to PSIR this year only, and within short span of time, you covered all the things. So the question is, how was your experience with the other GS subject different from previous year? Because you also appeared in the mains previous year. So back then your option was like maths, and now you switch to PSIR, and you all covered in within a few months. So how was your experience for that?
So regarding the GS subjects this year, I had no anxiety like of last year to covering the syllabus and writing the answers and covering the complete paper in the 3 hours, because I covered that in the previous year also. But regarding the PSIR, I had the anxiety to cover the complete paper in the 3 hours. That too also two papers in the one day. So that's why I revised the only the core syllabus of the sir multiple times, and I wrote those answer exactly same way as sir told in the classes. Practice that those at home myself, and after that I brainstormed the all the questions 2 3 times also, and those are almost the all the PYQs sir has covered in the classes. So I think I found the most of the questions directly and indirectly from the notes only. So that helped me a lot.
I think Akshay's question was also around um, since you since you did not have PSIR as the optional the last time in your mains, but this time you had PSIR as the optional. How did your mains GS preparation change, and how did that performance change?
So this year last year I read the IR, GS2 part and other things separately. But this year I didn't read the GS2 and whatever sir mentioned the GS1 overlap. That that overlap we don't find the at the time of preparation, but when we write the examination in the whole, we find the overlap and we borrow from PSIR some points, some apart from the scholars, but some specific points that are mentioned in multiple times, and some frameworks in the IR also worked out in the GS2. And the scholars, as we read in the WPT, IPT, they helped in the GS4 ethics paper, where Aristotle golden mean, if we want to apply in the any case studies there, where are we in the dilemma. So if we mention the something middle path along with we mention the Aristotle's golden mean, So I think that would be better and good.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks. Roger, after you.
Hello. Hi, Aman. Congratulations and all the best for your interviews.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it is a follow-up to one of the insights which you just shared in the last answer that that while writing you find there is a lot of interlinkages and overlap between the GS and PSIR core concepts, and then you while writing the answers you employ the perfect strategy according to the time that you have. So what I am figuring out is that there is a lot of interlinkages between the PSIR modules as well. So post season 3 um, to season 5 and probably 6 also, we study a lot of concepts where what I am thinking is that while studying the later half of the course, which is season 5 and 6, I can use that knowledge to improve my answers um, for the things which are taught in season 3, like for example globalization and all those concepts, and adding on to the concepts that we have used in season 4 also. So my core question is that since this strategy worked for you where you memorize the answers or kind of cram the answers after knowing the basic concepts, how would you like how would you tackle the questions if so many ideas are coming to your head while you're writing the answers? I mean, how do you pick and choose? Because according to like what my experience and I think other people's experiences have been, that we are good with interlinkages, but how do you pick and choose the parts there on then and deliver?
So your question is about interlinkages between paper 2 and paper 1.
No, yeah, exactly.
So I think the first, as you mentioned, the globalization part.
Yeah,
So while sir was teaching that globalization part, he mentioned that it is in the paper 2, but it is good to study it here because we were studying the all political ideologies in the paper 3,
yeah,
like liberalism, which is better understood if we study the globalization there only. But it is actually the part of globalization. And you
yeah,
don't see the globalization directly questioned in the paper 1. It came in the paper 2. So, and the things of the paper 1 using in the paper 2, there was a question of the red lipstick movement. I think the sir didn't, and we don't have any clue about it. So I think red lipstick, if we can make a conjecture, it will certainly or anyhow associate with the women's movement, their rights, freedoms, etc. So what I did in those 2 pages of compulsory, it was compulsory in 10 marker. So I wrote all the female scholars, those 3 4 scholars we discussed in paper 1. We discussed those scholars in feminism paper 1. So I wrote those scholars in the paper 2. And globalization, as you mentioned, it was in the paper 2 only. And I prepared the section A of the both papers so that I could attempt the extra 50 marker question, complete 3 questions from section A only. So in political theory, um, I revised multiple times the scholars and the other core theories. So I could attempt the extra questions from there only.
Okay, good. Thanks, Aman. Deviman, after you.
Uh, am I audible, sir? Hello.
Yeah,
Am I
you're
audible,
audible.
sir?
Yes, go on.
Yeah. So first of all, congratulations, Aman, and all the best for interview. My questions is regarding because I'm going to select PSI as my optional, and I just started my GS syllabus. So should I start PSI simultaneously, or should I wait for some time? Then I should select PSI here. And what points did you focus on while selecting your optional? Right, that PSI is the one should I go for, or well, your background was in mathematics and you directly jump to PSIR. So how did you choose PSIR?
So choosing the PSIR was 2 points oriented. First of all, the bad experience from the mathematics in the papers like the UPSC mains examination, where it backfired me uh, due to many reasons. And secondly, the I developed an interest over the last 2 years and failed the disconnect from the mathematics. But the pulling factor for the PSIR that first of all it overlaps heavily, and the many issues that we find in the newspaper day-to-day basis. So, and third thing that sir always says that anyone who is going to be in the state services or going to be a statesman should study the PSIR. And I think you will find the module very energetic, enthusiastic, and you will hang on it.
Okay. Thank you.
I think we discussed at length about statecraft and statesmen. Anyone else? Any question for Aman? So I think, Aman, you're also convincing your friend to now opt for PSI, right? From mathematics. Is that
Yeah, sir,
happening?
he is in.
Okay, Yashwardhan, after you.
So yeah, congratulations, Aman, and best of luck for the interview. So my question is regarding
Thank you.
option. Like my background is engineering from computer science, and I've just started the preparation, and I actually don't know which subject to choose, which optional subject to choose. I am thinking between geography and PSIR, but like, how did you like think of choosing PSIR? Like, why not geography or any other optional subject? Like, how did you uh like select this particular option?
Uh, so why not other subjects as my optional? So one of my friends also suggested that sociology has uh, very less syllabus and it is scoring and other things. But I chose the optional as PSIR because first of all, the sir was teaching. I was also attracting towards its syllabus, and I trusted the sir's module for scoring well if I make an effort to that extent. And if I'm clearing with the PSIR, the examination, so what's the hurdle then? And if you want to choose the any other subjects, you evaluate the syllabus and your priorities choices.
Okay, so I am actually new to this preparation, so I should like cover some syllabus in the next 2, 3 weeks, and then should I decide like what should be the best, right?
Yes, I think you should study in the GS newspapers. So then you should decide.
Okay. Okay, thank
Okay, I think Sandra is also here. Sandra, we'll start with your discussion in 5 minutes. Devendra, you had a question? Go on.
Yes, hi, Naman sir. Hi, Aman. First of all, congratulations on clearing the minutes. Good luck for the interview. And this question might sound silly, but I think it is really important for me to ask. I just found your notes so comprehensive, like question answer format kind of something. And I'm someone who is coming from a tier three college where it is not actually being taught that how should you actually do the note making kind of thing, or how when I'm studying, I just end up write a lot of content in the notes. Like there is something I've always struggled with. So I just find your notes so comprehensive, so so neat and clean. So if you have any tips you can give from the notes making perspective, how we can end up writing, I mean, how not to write the long notes. They should be short, not they should be concise, not so like in the lengthy way. So yeah, if you can suggest anything, because that is something I've been struggling for a while.
So first clarify two things, that are you talking about PSIR optional or any other?
Be it anything. I mean, we are just studying. I'm just taking the lectures of Naman sir since last couple of weeks, and yeah, so like it has always been a hard task for me. So like yeah, just be it anything,
So
GS or PSIR.
so I prepared the online notes only for the PSIR is the module I covered. And regarding the comprehensiveness, I think there's most of the question answer are in one page only, and the total notes in consisted of the 450 pages only of the both the papers.
Okay, Aman, are you serious? Just 450 pages for entire
Around
PSIR?
450, yes, sir.
It should be like, it should go viral. I mean,
No, sir.
for
When
the
I
entire.
inquired about the Subraranjan, my friend were doing from the earlier colleges, they said that they have almost 2,500 pages of the core material that they have
Wow, and that's
by
why you were able
the
to revise
by
three
that
times before
coaching.
the. Wow, great. Sounds fantastic. So, Madhuri, you have a question? Go on. But I think PSI is more about understanding things. Notes can follow thereafter. But if you don't understand and comprehend things, then things may not work out.
Yeah, so congratulations, Aman. My question was, yeah, as
Thank you.
Devendra was asking earlier, is there any suggestions you could give? Because your notes was really superb, and as you said, it was just 450 pages. So even when I was making any notes also, it always, pricks me or bothers me. How I was scared that what if I leave some content? Should I include everything? Should I write everything, note down everything? That was it was always bothering me. So could you give any suggestions on how, we can make notes?
Sir, first of all, the how to make notes, that I made only the online mode. And what sir tells in the classes, he tells only to write the question and answers, not other things that he discussed in the earlier part of the lecture or episode. So I wrote the only question above as an heading, and the answers based on the guidelines. Later, he discussed his after the students in those rooms discuss the answers. So earlier, when the political theories are dictated all the answers from intro to the conclusion and other scholar involved. So I think all the questions are 1 to 2 pages in the online format. But if you are making in the offline format, in the question and answer format, it can go beyond the 450 limit. So that's the point. If your notes are like bulging more.
Okay, Nimrat.
Yeah, congratulations, Aman, for clearing the exam and good luck for your interview. So, my
Thank you.
question was, you mentioned you don't find mathematics to be much relevant. Because my question is because I was also, thinking about taking mathematics or chemistry since my background is science. But as Sir mentioned that it should overlap with your GS syllabus, that's why I also chose PSIR and I'm going through the lectures as well. I want to know, like, I also have some of this opinion that mathematics might not be much relevant. So, and Sir was contradicted on this that it is not the case. But when I'm seeing the syllabus, it is quite complex in mathematics. Like it is having some aspects of physics as well in it. How is it relevant for an IAS, IFS officer?
Relevance of what? Mathematics.
Yeah, mathematics.
So
So Aman would be the
found
last
it.
person to say this because he categorically
How
said
co-
it's relevant for him.
I found it
Yeah,
less relevant, so how could I justify the relevance for civil services?
yeah. So basically, this question is for Naman sir that how are you saying that it is relevant given its complexity?
Mathematics is extremely relevant for a public servant, and I'll talk about it in some time. But clearing civil services, I don't know how relevant would that be.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Sushma.
Good afternoon, sir. Congratulations, Aman. I hope you do well in your interview. So my question was regarding the test series that you took. You spoke about taking open test series. So I wanted to know, did you just brainstorm on the questions provided, or did you get them evaluated by these coaching institutions? And if you did get them evaluated, did that help you in improving your answers?
So I took only the uh, 4 papers from the Shubhra Ranjan that were in the sectional format, section paper, and 2 full papers of the next IAS that were like open type. So I took those papers at my home, and I didn't opted for the evaluation by the coaching and other those mentors. So I wrote the questions in that I found relevant only in that part also. Like many things, my friend suggested that if you find the some irrelevant part or something like you don't understand in the Sura Ranjan questions, so they will be only mentioned in their bulky notes. So I didn't waste much time on that, but some bit of questions I did, some I left, but most of the core material was from the search, and that's it regarding the questions from the coaching.
Okay, great. I think to not rely too much on how your tests are evaluated in these coaching institutes. That's not how UPSC will also check. They don't have the time. It's another money minting industry, to be honest. So I love what the strategy employed by Aman and how he went ahead. But eventually, yeah, he ended up doing really well. So congratulations, Aman. Any last advice to all those who want to follow through, you know, in your journey and follow through on your footsteps?
Last advice would be the whatever you always say, that maintain the consistency, trust the misfits episodes, and do not diversify your content. Make sure that you have the core content ready and your notes are in order.
Yeah, good. And please understand, these are your notes. You have to make these notes. After the results are out, many toppers will, give out free PDFs and everything. Take inspiration from those PDFs, but eventually write your own notes. Edit those notes. That is how you will remember things. And I agree, you will have to minimize your resources. We live in a world that is inundated with a lot of information. And that is one reason why people fail in the examination. They get confused, bombarded with a lot of irrelevant information. That leads to anxiety, and everything follows on from there on. Okay, now we have Sandra also here. Sandra also cleared her examination. A huge round of applause for her, and congratulations to her. And you can ask any questions from Sandra around GS preparation, from prelims to mains. We've already covered the aspects of PSIR with Aman. So after you, Sandra, introduce yourself. Who are you? Where are you joining in from?
Hi, sir. So my name is Sandra Saver. I am a doctor. I graduated in MBBS last year. And my native place is, I'm from Trivandrum in Kerala. And this was my first attempt. And I joined MisFits in September 2024. and it has been my North Star in all stages of my preparation since then. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right. Anyone has questions around GS preparation? I want this to be very specific. Soumya, off to you.
Hi everyone. Hi sir. Congratulations, Sandra, and congratulations, Aman. All the best to you guys for the next leg of this journey. I just wanted to ask you, Sandra, since it was your first attempt, and prelims also this time for me was my first attempt, and I did not end up clearing it. So I just wanted to know, like, what was your process for prelims? Because it's such a tricky situation to navigate. I felt like maybe I could use some of the tips and tricks you used before prelims a few months to cover everything and also to like make your decision making better in the examination hall.
Okay, thank you, Soumya. So regarding prelims, I started prelims preparation in February. Until then, and I had to do my optional also along with my prelims till March, so it was a bit hectic. But my basic notes were prepared from MisFits lectures itself, and after that I did the 35 test just as said. And CSAT was an issue for me because my English side was strong, but I had problem with maths, so I started with maths early. I used to do math questions from October onwards. On Sundays, I used to take 2 hours to work on that. So that gave me confidence. Like I did not have to, it was not a problem for me. Like I haven't done maths. I was confident that I may be able to do it once I reach the exam stage. And regarding the difference in strategy, the broad strategy was what Sir said, but I kind of modified it to suit my needs. Like I revised those tests 6 to 7 times because I thought I needed it. I think the minimum is 3, but you have to do more if that's what it takes for you to clear the exam. And I'd say for prelims, it all comes down to making conjectures because on the day of the exam, I made mistake with fact-based questions, but the conjectures I made were correct because I was extremely calm. On that day, it's basically you against the questions in front of you. Nothing else matters. Nothing in the world matters. And I made I made an error log, like what all things could go wrong on that day. And I worked on that before 1 month itself. I knew what all could go wrong. Like I could read the question wrong. I could mark wrong. The bubbling could be wrong. So stuff like that. The examiner could be loud. The person sitting me would be disturbing me. So anything could happen. So I prepared my mind in such a way that I would be able to beat all that on that day. And yes, and attempting 85 above questions is necessary, I feel. Okay, I hope I answered your question. If you have any further doubts, you can ask me.
Okay. Sandra, can you detail out your prelim strategy? I think many will fall in that category and they're all struggling as of now. So they would be very keen to hear from you. How did you prepare end to end? So let's assume that these youngsters say now want to appear for the examination in 2026. Starting this month, how should they go about their prelims preparation?
Okay. I think prelims can be prepared in 4 months. You need at least 4 months. And depending on your strength and weakness, 4 to 5 months. Right now, I think they should consolidate their foundation, go through the lectures, complete all the foundational lectures, and prepare notes from that. And right now, you can do an integrated preparation for mains and prelims. For prelims, once your foundation is laid, you should focus on the mock test, analyze those tests, and also PYQs are very, very important. Uh, Analysis of PYQs is necessary to understand the pattern of the exam. I was able to predict quite a few questions that came in this year's prelims. And I think it's necessary to be curious in prelims. Curious in the sense, there was a question regarding the crops cultivate introduced by Portuguese or something. So I was eating guava one day and I just randomly thought this can't be something that's found in India. So where did this come from? And I just went on the net and I searched, and it was a crop that was introduced by the Portuguese, and the same question came for the exam. So that's one example. You should be there at the back of your mind in wherever you are or whatever you're doing, that you are going to be appearing for this exam on this and this day. So whatever you are doing, you would be able to form a question out of random things. So that helps, I think.
And after analyzing the PYQs, you move to the mock test. And even in the mock test, you are analyzing each option. You're studying each option and each question. And you have to make a error log of all your mistakes, I think, and focus on those.
Okay, good. Anyone else? Any kind of question around prelims preparation? We can wait for 3 to 5 seconds. Don't be scared of Sandra. I think you all had questions for Aman, not for Sandra. She's so nice. Okay. Nimrat, after you.
Yeah. So I have a question. Like there are some facts that you need to, learn, like some dates, some events. A lot of things are in geography are as well are to be learned. How should we go about that? Because I tend to forget them after some days. Even if I revise it, then also I tend to forget or confuse it with something else.
Yeah, I think for facts, there are some things that you have to remember, and it will come, with revision. You have to revise whatever you're getting wrong. Note it down, and you will be forgetting this. Maybe you'll forget it for the exam also. So take an extra care to remember that. It all boils down to revision. There's no such shortcut to revising facts. I feel just try to relate it to something else or make a mnemonic for things that you find difficult to remember. But I think with more revisions you can remember it definitely. And for places and all, what I did was I revised it on a map. Like I used to print the plain map of India or world map, and I used to, if I find a new place, I used to mark it on the map, so I know where it is. So that kind of helps me to remember. A pictographical memory, you get that also when you do it by yourself. And if you prepare your notes on your own, you can remember better.
Okay. So I've made Sandra the co-host. So Sandra, you can also unmute others and if they want to have a question. Adrip, after you.
So congratulations, Sandra. So last month I completed my GS portion. So from the last month I'm trying to revise my classwork and doing PYQs from what sir discussed in the classes. I still did not actually print PYQs and started doing them. I'm actually forgetting many facts. So should I just revise my classwork again or should I go to PYQs and how do we revise? That's
Okay, Madhurip, are you asking about, are you preparing for prelims right now? Have you started prelims?
I
Or you are
completed the
asking me?
classes.
Okay. Okay.
There's no separate thing.
Okay. You have to revise it periodically. What I used to do was I tried to revise every GS paper once a month or twice a month at least. So just plan it accordingly. If you're forgetting something, revise it before you forget. Usually, once you study something, you'll forget it within a month, I feel. So before a month is over, try to revise it. Take a few days off of a month just to revise whatever you have completed. So that will give you confidence. You will forget, but you have to revise it periodically anyway. So try to revise it once a month or twice a month.
So should I start doing PYQs now, or along with that, should I also revise my classwork?
Yeah, PYQs. Do you mean prelims or mains
For
PYQs?
prelims, no, I'm not talking
No,
about means right
prelims.
now.
I don't think you have to prelims PYQs. I don't think you have to do right now. Right now, I would suggest to strengthen your base and try to form answers with regarding to mains. Prelims, I think you can start with PYQs in January or February. I started in February. But if you want, you can just run through the PYQs. But I don't think you have to spend much time analyzing right now. We'll be doing that anyway in January and February.
Also, you will be wasting your time if you were to focus on PYQs more versus focusing on foundations, be it PYQs or any other mock tests. You may feel good that you're learning new things with every MCQ, with every mock, but eventually the goal should be step one, have your foundation sorted. Once that is sorted, your learning becomes much easier, as in when you go through your PYQs or MCQs of any kind. Okay, so step one is extremely critical. Do your
Sir,
foundations
the
multiple
thing is
times.
that, so can I talk? So the thing is that I already completed my GS syllabus. I'm doing my
Okay.
PSIR right now. So I have some time left with me. So what am I doing is that I'm trying to revise my classwork that I have written from the classes. So what I'm trying to ask is that should I focus on my PSIR right now, or should I also
Got it.
study this GS?
All right, good. Sneha?
Yeah, hi Sandra, congrats. I just had a question on the current affairs. Considering that at the present, I'm just revising GS, I'm just going through sir's videos currently. But I want to understand, and I'm not regularly going through newspapers at this moment, right? So, where do we exactly follow current affairs from? Yeah.
So I used to read the paper daily. I used to follow the Hindu.
Okay.
I limited my time to just half an hour every day, not more
Okay.
than that.
Okay.
And I used to follow a current affairs magazine also of one of the institutes. And I don't think it's absolutely necessary to follow a current affairs magazine. If you have extra time, maybe you can do that. But a newspaper reading is a must. You have just fix a time slot for that and make sure you do it every day. Uh, you know,
Okay.
you will find it interesting. Because you're
Okay.
studying the GS syllabus and you'll be able to find the same things happening in the current affairs. So it becomes interesting with time.
Sure. Thank you.
Also, I think starting this month, we'll be having more frequent deep dive masterclasses. So we'll cover current affairs there as well. Aishwarya?
Hi, Naman. First of all, congratulations, Sandra. I had three questions for you. One has already been answered regarding current affairs. Second was regarding had you covered your standard books along with the Misfits lectures and made notes out of that? Like currently, I was doing Spectrum, so it is such a huge book, so it seems a bit overwhelming to complete it along with options and everything. And also, another question I had for before the prelims, did you do only the PYQs or also did you do mock tests from a certain coaching institute? And what would you recommend? And also, I just wanted to know your strategy post prelims, like in those 90 days, how did you cover your optionals as well as GS? Yeah.
Also,
Thanks.
Sandra, I think haven't we covered PYQs already in all the lectures?
Yeah.
Yes, so you had covered it, economics and I think geography. PYQs
Okay.
were covered, but I think doing it on your own is also necessary, to develop conjectures and just to know the pattern in depth once more. Okay, so all right. Okay, I remember your last question. It was about mains 90 days, and before that it was about prelims, right?
Yes, it was about the standard books, how you had,
Okay, whether I
tackled
covered
them.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I joined MisFits in September 2024. So before that itself, I had completed reading of the one or two readings, I think, of standard books. But the problem with me was I had the information, but I was not able to, make a interconnection between all the subjects. That's why I joined MisFits. So after that, it was easier to make sense of what I had read already. So I had completed stuff on my own also. And Spectrum, I agree, it's bulky, but I kind of tried to make notes of Spectrum also. Notes in the sense, in the book itself, like there's a summary section for Spectrum, right? So, so after reading the chapters, whatever was important, I would add in the summary section. Just the important stuff, the facts that you have to remember. So, on the closer to the exam, I would revise just the summary page. So that's just one page, right? So it's easier to revise that way. And if the stuff what I am writing exceeds the summary page, I would add a small uh, a half of an A4 sheet, and I would you know try to draw figures to remember stuff, figures or draw the India map or mark stuff like that. For example, there are various events related to the civil disobedience movement, which happened in various parts of the country. So I just draw the India map and I just mark where what has happened. So that helps me remember better. And after prelims, yes, those 90 days were very difficult for me because my optional was still pending. I had 20 days plus for my optional also, and that I felt like everything was going haywire that during those days, and it was literally very difficult. I was literally crying every day till the date of the exam, but I didn't give up till the end of the till the exam was over, and I focused on answer writing more. I think if your content is if your notes are completed before prelims, it becomes easier to focus on answer writing, and you should focus more on essay ethics and optional. That's what I feel. And with regard to answer writing, I just followed a strategy of doing 3 cycles of GS and 3 cycles of your optional. And optional, I did a few more tests because I was enrolled in another coaching institute. So I followed their timetable like that. And it was difficult to finish the paper in 3 hours. It was very difficult. My first test, I took like 4 or 5 hours, but then I made it a point to finish it in 3 hours anyway. And with time, it got better. But it was, I was not sure if I'll be able to do it or not. Till the I was sure I will be able to do it only 1 week before the exam because you need that kind of a mindset when you're going for mains. You need to be sure that you will be able to do it no matter what the question. But before the 1 week period before the exam, I was literally like crying every day. Yeah.
Okay, good. Shali?
Hi, Chandra. Congratulations. I want to ask you about the preparation for environment. Is it enough to just stick to the lectures or something else you have followed? Thank you.
Yeah. No, I just followed the lectures, and PMFIS is the material which is followed in the lectures also. I tried to read it, but it's too bulky. It was too bulky. So for environment, I just focused on the PYQs and the mock test. Whatever was mentioned in the mock test, I just made notes from that for environment. And a lot of it overlaps with geography also. So I don't think it's an issue, that much of an issue. If you're just doing PYQs well and focusing on those, analyzing those mock tests.
Sai Krishnan, after you.
First of all, congratulations, Sandra, for clearing the mains. I hope to see your name in the final list. Currently, I have completed my economic module, and geography, I'm at the oceanography, and in the history, I completed medieval. Currently, the method which I'm following is I am seeing the lectures, making notes of it, revising it, and parallelly checking the PYQs, attempting the PYQs, 10 years PYQs. And if I find any extra points, I'm adding it to my notes. This is the methodology I'm following currently. So this is okay for the prelims. So you told that you have integrated both prelims and mains preparation till February. So for the mains preparation, how should I add something else in this? That is what I wanted to know. And current affairs. How did you link? Suppose economy is completed. So should I further go and make one-pager notes for the mains, or else just stick with the current notes? I know that Naman sir have given a brilliant lectures and I'm pretty clear about the concepts, but for the mains revision, should I make the one-pager notes if the syllabus is completed? Similarly for every subject. And that is what I wanted to ask you about.
Okay, sir. So for mains, what I did was you have the syllabus already given for mains. It's a pretty in-depth syllabus. So I tried to make notes for every word that's mentioned in mains. It's not always possible to make this note, but I try to do that. And like you said, how you should integrate mains, you said you're doing PYQs, right? So check out the PYQs of the mains also. It's better to do mains PYQs right now rather than prelims PYQs. So when you do mains PYQs, you will know what kind of questions that have been asked, and you'll be able to, prepare your mind in such a way as to answer those questions while you are revising your notes. So make notes based on the PYQs and the syllabus. From the syllabus, you'll just know the word, what's the topic. But when you do the PYQs, you'll know how they are asking with respect to that topic. And current affairs, you don't have to make separate notes for current affairs. Just if you're, just use current affairs for value addition. If when you're reading newspaper and you find something that can be used a data point or a fact or an event that happened somewhere or a meeting that has happened somewhere, just note that in your integrate that to your main notes rather than preparing separate notes for current affairs. I hope it answers your question.
Okay, thank you.
Samrid, after you.
Yep. Hi, Sandra. Again, congrats for clearing mains and good luck for your personality test. My question was on GS mains. We know the importance of using examples for optional. So, do you also make a point for giving examples for every GS questions? And also, if you come across a question that you have no idea about in the exam, like how would you go about it, or how did you go about it? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, yeah, examples are very important. I try to give an example for each point I was writing. It's not always possible. Like right now, I don't remember what I wrote in my mains exactly. When I see the questions, I'm wondering if I attempted those questions or not. But I'm sure I attempted all the questions. But when you're in the hall and time is running by, you don't exactly know what you have written. But I remember that I tried to give an example for each question. I also think presentation is very important in mains. Even if you're writing an example, the examiner may not necessarily see it. So try to highlight it, put it inside a triangle or put it inside a box or something like that. So the examiner is able to see that you have given an example. So that helps. And what was the second question? I'm sorry.
I think it was around how to address questions where you do not know the answer.
Okay. Yes. In mains, you won't be knowing more than I think 10 questions per paper, I think. But it won't be like it won't be something or something about you have never heard of in your life. You may have come across the term somewhere. You may have come across that thing somewhere in your preparation. So it's just improvisation. I feel that's why you're preparing with a mock test with questions that you don't know under a time limit. So at the eventual day, you will be writing something logical if you're preparing that way to address questions logically with examples. It's just improvisation on that day, I feel.
Okay. Pritika?
Yes. Congratulations, Sandra, and all the best for your personality test coming up. My question is, I've recently started this preparation and I'm doing my optionals. May I know what was your optional?
Yeah, it was sociology.
Okay, I'm also doing sociology. So I think by the end of January, I should be done with my sociology as in the foundation basic knowledge of it, and then thereafter my revision will start. Simultaneously, whatever I've finished, I've started with answering the PYQs of the option foundation. I have to yet start GS 1, 2, 3, 4. So my question is that how do I do the like what should be my ideal timeline and methodology for managing optional, foundational, and rhythms in the next coming months? Thank you.
Okay. Prelims, I think you should start by February anyway. I had my optional. I was doing my optional till March though, but it was very hectic for me. But I tried to give 10 hours for prelims and 3 hours for sociology. So I was studying like 13 hours in February and March. It was very difficult for me. So if you're able to complete your optional early, that's good. And time, I mean, I said my time, the duration I needed was 10 to 13 hours, but it depends on you. And yeah, for a broad timeline, I think you can start from February prelims. And before that, you have to develop a basic understanding of the foundational subjects and the mains content, whatever you can prepare, especially the things that do not overlap with much with prelims, like security or society. A society, again, it overlaps with sociology, so I don't think you need to prepare more for that. Uh, But yeah, things that do not overlap with prelims syllabus specifically, try to complete it before January, especially ethics and all. Try to complete it before, by January end or February.
Okay, great. Thank you, Sandra. Any last words of wisdom to all those who may
Yeah,
write the examination now?
yeah. I think the major thing is to enjoy the process, because if you're not able to enjoy it, then it will be very difficult to, clear all the stages. Uh, and it's also necessary to have a self-awareness of your strength and your weakness, because there may be a broad strategy, but you have to know your strength and your weakness to modify it and to give your best in the exam. And it's also necessary to maintain consistency and discipline, because you may be studying right now, but you have to keep up the pace till the day of the exam. So I think those are three things that I would like to say to this index.
I loved what she said, enjoy the process. It may sound very casual, but it's very important. And all of you should pay heed to this. In fact, to be very honest, over the past few years, I realized one very important thing in life, that there are two kinds of games that we play. First is the kind of finite games that we may play. Second is infinite games. Anyone knows the difference? Finite games versus infinite games. Anyone heard of it? Vipul?
So finite game ends at a certain level or at certain destination, but infinite you play and play, just play all your life.
For example, so when I was 15, I was madly in love with cricket. I think every Indian is. And I loved it so much that I ended up playing under 15, under 17, under 19. And when we played, I was extremely, extremely competitive. We lost many games, we won many games, all of that happened. But now, one very interesting thing is that today I do not even remember what games I won, which games I lost. I'm being very honest, I don't remember. I also know one more thing, that I did not end up playing for India. I did not end up playing for IPL. By all markers, I failed as a cricketer. So now my question is, do I regret playing cricket in life? To think about it, I should regret playing it. No IPL, no India jersey. Those are the dreams for any cricketer. Made on so many movies. But today does not matter to me. I have absolutely no regrets. Why? Because I loved my time playing those games at that age. And if I were given another opportunity to go back in time, perhaps I would do the same thing. That is an example of infinite game for me. For me. Why? Because I played that game for the purpose of continuing to play. I loved it so much. I had so much fun. And listen to this very carefully, but if I ascribe my every decision, every action, my every motivation to merely winning the game, could be any metric, playing for India, playing IPL, then I would think of my life as a loser of some kind. My entire life would be a compromise. So the idea of infinite games or finite games, it does not just apply to cricket. It applies to the biggest game we all will play in life, the game of life. We will have competition after competition in life. No respite at all. Get good grades in class 12th, crack IIT JEE, get into IITs. After IITs, get into UPSC. And even for UPSC, you will aim for IAS or IFS. What if you get into IPS or IRS? And even if you get into IAS, you will crave for home cadre. In IFS, you may want some specific countries. When the only purpose of the game is to just win the game, you are devaluing the game itself. You're merely chasing. So we all have to fall in love with the process. Many of you will clear civil services, that's fantastic, but if you do not lose heart. You played a game and at that moment you did not win. That's all. But playing the game changed you. It gave you tools. It gave you clarity. It gave you confidence. It gave you the language to understand a country better, a world better. I spoke about Teen Session in the beginning. He was an IAS officer, yes. But his legacy did not come from just holding that post. It came when he stood up as chief election commissioner and redefined what free and fair elections mean in India. He did not just play the game of holding the power. He played the infinite game of integrity. Inspired a generation, and even today inspires many. Roger Federer. I think at the age of 36, he was still playing tennis. Kept going. Was there anything left to prove? No. He even said that I love playing tennis. I just love being out there. I love the feeling of the crowd, of competing. That is infinite game. You all are playing a game also. You need to decide what kind of game that is, infinite or finite. Some of you are studying for 10 hours a day, managing jobs, showing up, failing, showing up again. So just see which game are you playing, finite or infinite. If you're playing a finite game, then your only goal is to clear prelims, then mains, and then interview. And if you end up failing the examination, you will feel everything was for nothing. But if you're playing the infinite game of learning, of growth, of nation building, of self mastery, of control, then every single hour you study, it counts. Every article that you may read, every answer that you may write, that's all part of the game. Many say that this exam is a real test. No, that's not the case. Real test is what kind of a person you're becoming in this process. So please do not study to just clear prelims. Study because you're falling in love with the constitution, with history, with geography, with economics, with the story of India that no movie can ever tell you. And you all will become part of this story of India. You need to understand how district works, how certain schemes are changing lives of the people, how policy is not just, a piece of paperwork. It's justice on ground. That is what makes this examination special. It is, in a way, a nation building in classroom. It's a master class in thinking like a public servant. So you need to ask yourself, would you still read about Dr. Ambedkar ji, even if there was no question in the examination about him? Would you still want to understand how a women's sarpanch transforms a village, even if it was not in the syllabus? If the answer is yes, you are playing the infinite game. Sandra was playing the infinite game when she was what? Guava? That excited you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You should have that curiosity. Best officers, best citizens, best humans, they don't prepare to win. They prepare to understand, to serve. They prepare to keep learning for life. So my honest request would be give your best. Give it your 100%. Crack the examination if you can. But do not lose sight of the bigger picture. You're preparing for something larger than the service. Someone this country can depend on. Whether you're in the IAS or in the classroom, running a startup, or mentoring the next generation, have that perspective in mind. Okay. Any question, anyone? It was a wonderful session. There was no networking today. We'll have that networking on, I think, 1st January, and we may meet for a new year. But we will have quite a few deep dive classes. this month, and I look forward to meeting you, all of you again. Harish?
Sir, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sir, I'm currently doing my studies consistently every day without fail, but I can't able to enjoy my hobbies. I'm quite struggling with it, and it just makes me feel burnt out at times. I don't know why I can't able to enjoy my hobbies. I feel guilty while doing my hobbies. It's just struggling.
What are your hobbies?
I love
Makes you feel
reading
guilty.
books. I recently completed Discovery of India by Jawaharlal Nehru, but recently for last 1 month I can't able to use my Kindle at all. I don't know why. Whenever I open my Kindle, I feel guilty. Like, am I wasting time over this?
Sandra, you felt the same?
Sorry.
No, sir,
You had time for the
I
hobbies?
enjoyed my hobbies. No, yeah, what I did was I studied every day and I took a Sunday off and I used to watch movies I made sure I watched at least one movie on Sunday. And I do acrylic painting, so I take half an hour every day just to paint a bit. It was a stress reliever for me. And I don't think you have to be guilty for doing your hobbies because it's what make you as a person. It's just not about studying, right? So you need to be yourself in all the stages of the exam. So it will only make your studying better, I feel.
Yeah. I think Sandra has her interview and she's still watching one movie per day.
Yes, sir.
Which movie did you watch today?
No, today I haven't watched any movie yet. Yesterday I watched Homebound.
Oh, yeah. Nice. All right. So I think first and foremost, there are certain things that are extremely critical in certain phases of your life. Right now, your goal is to crack civil services. So make sure that at least you're spending the core part of your day in wrapping up your syllabus. Whatever tasks that you've assigned for yourself, achieve that. Have a time limit. Like 5 hours I will study for civil services. After that, whatever I want to do, I will do. And in that, after 5 hours, you've got to have time to interact with your parents, talk to your friends, go to the gym, play a sport, go for a swimming if you are into all of that, watch a movie, do all of that. That is what makes you human. But if you end up just studying for civil services 18 hours a day, 17 hours a day, you're wasting your time. Many a times people are artificially busy. So my advice would be wrap up the most important stuff as early as possible during the day, morning. After that, enjoy your life. Do internships. Many of the BOS fellows are doing projects also. I had a call with some of the BOS fellows. They're on the verge of launching new startups. They're there. And all of that teaches you a lot. When you are doing things on ground, that's how you learn things.
Good afternoon, sir. Congratulations, Sandra and Aman. Sir, I just wanted to ask that I've sent you a mail twice or thrice, but I didn't got any reply. So if you can just check into that.
Okay. Can you just forward it again so that we can go through it?
Yeah.
Like I mentioned, my team is pretty bad. So therefore, every month we meet twice, thrice. So make sure that you also raise your questions as and when needed. Mohit, what's your question?
Hello, sir.
No, I cannot hear you. Okay, with this, we wrap up today's session, and I will see you all again during the Deep Dive Masterclass, the Azad Parliament Fellowship. Okay, all the best. Good luck.